tonight because I didn't know if it was confirmed or not, but I guess it has been calling, at least now that you're saying it out loud. And, you know, Rezik's sick, whatever's going on with him, it's tough to play like that. And it was tough for him to play yesterday. Hopefully Team Queso will start playing better once Rezik is up to full form. But the fact that he's still playing tonight and he played last night, you got to give respect when respect is due. So shout out to Rezik. And he's going to be opposite of Hndles, it seems, maybe in that 1v, or I guess it's going to be exclusive anyways, up close and personal with the Acells. He starts it off right. He's going to pick up the M-bar.
I think Rezik's his big talking point, the thing that could really help him in this situation, is Rezik is still one of the smartest players on the planet. He's one of the better players on the planet, and the idea that he knows his positioning and he knows how to play it. So Rezik, if he gets a little bit of help over the top, he can still play these fights very carefully, very succinctly. I think that's what they have to be concerned with, what they have to worry about in this situation, though, is if Rezik's not getting any help and he's a little bit slower to the punch, he's not exactly getting into these fights the way he'd like to, that's what they need to worry about. Sleeafer and the boys, they're going to spawn up, and I like this. A full three-man push across the top of the map. They've actually taken over the position for that next hill. Beautiful M-bar shot there, getting some shots on by Acells. The flashes are going to come out. It's going to be a full three-man push down the backside of this map. Acells goes for another body shot, won't be able to find it. Nades out. Acells goes for the hop. He's going to drop. Now you're going to see Precision stuck by himself on an island here at the backside of this Cubby counter. And I love this play. I am infatuated with the fact that this is one of the first teams I've seen like Queso. They rotated through the middle. They went through the inside. They tried to overwhelm not the hill itself, but the next hill spawn.
Yep.
Get the close spawn and get the positioning to get those initial points.
Yeah, well said, Colin. Exactly that. I mean, the way that they attacked Vanquish from this side was literally everything, and it should set them up for the next hill. It looks as if, though, there's still going to be a battle, and it is being won by the boys of Vanquish. Xysho on the flank, fighting against Rezik just on the other side of that statue. And it looks like the Team Queso boys, who fought very hard on this side, making a great play, Colin, that you highlighted, I was impressed with, has fallen to the wayside. They've got to go for round 2, and that just comes to show you that Vanquish, even with few members, they can do a lot of damage, and that damage can be devastating.
Well, one of the things that we've seen with Rezik and with all of Team Queso is if you give them an inch, if you open up the door just a little bit, they're willing to bust on through it. They'll take any advantage possible. Vanquish, though, they might be the kings of that. If they even think opportunity's knocking, if they hear somebody on the front porch, Vanquish is opening the door for opportunity. They're saying, hey, what are you doing out there, man? You coming to sell me something? You ready to give it up? Because we're going to be willing to take whatever you're willing to give. And that's exactly what they did in the front side of that hill. They got 2 quick kills off, and now they're pressuring out to the front door of the rest of the players from Team Queso.
You know, it's nice to see Vanquish playing as well as they are, and I had no doubt in their abilities. I know no one can really doubt their abilities, right, Colin? But yesterday, without question, when they started off against Rebel, you can tell that they underestimated them. Maybe they weren't ready to play. They weren't taking Rebel seriously, and that's why when we started off on Regency control, VQ was pretty much neck and neck. Matter of fact, actually, Rebel had the lead, if I'm not mistaken, Colin, correct? And again, I think that's because Vanquish just wasn't taking them seriously, but you brought up a great point with Team Queso. If you don't take them seriously, give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Vanquish realizes this, they respect that, and that's why they started as hard as they did, fighting as well as they are. But fighting as well as they are, Team Queso does a great job on this hill, and if they can secure a couple more points, who knows, they could be pretty much neck and neck with that of the VQ boys, and this match just got more interesting.
Yeah, they're going to pressure back into this beautiful little hill hold for about 30 to 40 points. Vanquish has to fly in to try to go for a neutralization. You'll want to give up every second on this hill, and with a 3-man wolf pack, they get a couple of kills, they get the hill, they're going to be able to mount up just a few more points on this before they start to rotate out. And if you take a look, there's your brand new leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. KDA there, triple barreled in the first stat, then damage done, objective kills, and of course caps and breaks. Real quick, let me just shout out my man Precision. 4 objective kills. He's playing inside of the hill. He's playing the guy that has to stand tall and stand out for his squad, and he's getting kills while he's staying inside of that hill. And right now, damage is pretty even across the board. The only player that might be lacking is Cristalize, but we all know he plays a little bit more of a rotational flank role. He's a little bit more of a support player on this squad. When you got a guy like an Xclusive and a guy like Sleeafer that can really play up and get double kills out the wazoo, you really ain't got to worry about much more.
And thank you for covering that scoreboard, because I kind of wanted to break that down and show the viewers who may not be accustomed to it as of yet. By the way, great job from Acells, not missing a beat at all. You mentioned that SpongeBob meme he tweeted out. Hey, Acells doesn't want to be the butt of a joke anymore, okay? He's definitely like, check this out. Xysho may have outshone me in that snipe play, but today, I'm making today mine. Carpe diem. Well done to him. Hey, Vanquish, they've got a tremendous lead. By the way, just real quick for the viewers too, OBJ kills, can you just explain that so they maybe understand what's going on with that one?
Well, to my knowledge, the way that objective kills works is if you're inside of the hill, if you're playing within the objective and you garner a kill inside of that objective, you get 1 point toward that. It might be the opposite where if you're killing somebody that's in the objective, but I am pretty sure objective kills are for whoever's playing inside of the hill, because that's the position that Precision played on the first hill. He got a couple of kills on the retake there. That's why he's the only one mounted up with about 4 or 5, but I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the way that Shawnee explained it to us, playing from inside of the hill, then getting kills, fantastic job.
Yeah, exactly that. And that's going to be a big number to kind of pay attention to, guys. And the reason why you're going to start to see that OBJ kills go up, when you see somebody who's dominating that OBJ kills kind of stat line, you know they're putting in a ton of work inside the hill itself, and therefore maintaining it and getting the points, or at least keeping it contested. A big one that you have to pay attention to. And man, across the board, I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. Speaking of which, I know I'm kind of going on a little bit of a tangent, but I just want to ask you again, because Jacob brought this up in the DMs that we were talking about it. Damage done. What's a number that we want to be looking for?
Well, all I did was play Control today once I got it downloaded and got to play a little bit of Operation 8. I want to say that based on my own damage output numbers, with knowing how bad I am at the video game, you want to look for a number between 15 and 25. You want to find yourself in that area across a game of Control. That might be a little skewed for some players based on the position they play and based on how dominant a team is playing in this Control. You can see we're right above that halfway marker for a lot of these players. There's Precision at about 7,000. You got a couple of guys at 8. Cristalize, he's the one kind of playing back. As we hit this halfway marker, you can kind of see who will come out on the other side toward that 300, getting close to that number. You're looking for 15 to 25 per game of Control, really, if you ask me, on an average.
All right, 15 to 25. Maybe we'll see that, but I guess it also is dependent on how quick the games are. And we might see a bit of a lower number than that 15 or 25, depending on how quickly Vanquish ties this up. But hey, we'll see how Team Queso is going to be able to fare. And if they do start coming back, I'm sure we will see that 15 to 25 mark. But naturally, Team Queso's damage done a bit lower, right? And that's because they're not having as much of an impact on these team fights. Vanquish outputting so much damage, and they are looking good. Rezik on your screen. It looks like he's going to go ahead and just travel through mid along with Cristalize. Team Queso once again taking that middle lane and trying to take this angle against VQ, and they're going to be met head on without question. Rezik, in bar in hand, has an opportunity to take Precision, Hndles out, and if he does so, it's going to better the chances of Team Queso to break the hill, but already not going too well. Cristalize is going to be dropped. Hndles will also take down Sleeafer with the help of Acells and Rezik. He's got to dip out, but can he get away? No, he can. Well, maybe so. Xclusive is there, but Precision hunts him down. Vanquish is out for blood.
Cristalize is the only player left alive right now for his team, so he's going to have to settle down and wait for his teammates to respawn. He's going to be in the middle of the map looking for these respawns to come across with him. That top left hill is going to be a problem to deal with. As you can see, there's really two positions you can go through. The middle hallway or through that bottom right spawn. And right now, as they try to progress through the middle hallway, Rezik is going to get cleaned up, and they get the answer back. They're going to leave Hndles to bleed out, and they're going to come through this big doorway here. Any extra kills they get might get them to close spawn, but look at the Lancer damage. The Lancer fire, having those lanes covered, having the ability to kind of just pressure out to their opponents has really put Vanquish in yet another spot to continue to mount a lead here. It's 251 to 104. They left the hill entirely. They ain't even worried about garnering up points in this situation. They said, let's get that next M-bar. Let's continue to pressure all of Team Queso and make them worry about it.
Yeah, Team Queso's feeling comfortable, right, Colin? I mean, just bottom line here, they've got a good lead. They've been winning their fights. If you, I know we'll take a sneak peek at the scoreboard later on. We don't need to do it now, but we'll probably see those numbers. Just absolutely, maybe even doubling that of Team Queso with the way that they've been playing. And again, you're going to really see a more interesting story with the stats. A great shot from Acells to follow it up onto Sleeafer. That's a two-piece for him. And Vanquish, like I said, Colin, they're just having fun at this point.
They are definitely having fun, and this is what I talked about. When it's a really tightly contested game, stats like damage done will go way up because you'll have more fights. Oh my god!
Sorry, that's fine. That's five.
I mean,
that's five.
Oh my god!
Man. That was
oh
five
my god!
For Acells. Like it's.
They're not stopping. They're not slowing down.
No, they're not. Acells gets 3 shots with the inbar and 2 with the Nashor. Disgusting. Sorry, Colin.
No. I was just gonna say, you see how these damage done stats are very low. That tells me that one team dominated, and it wasn't like they dominated and won a bunch of team fights. They dominated and they kept the other team off guard. There was no room for really wiggle room for the enemy team. They could not play in any of these situations. That to me tells me that Vanquish in that map 1, look at the way that damage is set out. Less than 10k.
Right.
Across the board,
right,
and the highest on Vanquish was 12k. That means Queso couldn't find a footing. They had no leg to stand on.
No, 100%. And, I took a screenshot of it. I'm going to be able to kind of talk a little bit more about it. First of all, having the deaths in control is going to be pretty telling, too. That's a new thing coming into control, right? Because before, in the old scoreboard, we didn't have an opportunity to see the deaths. Quite honestly, they're not really that impactful, but it can also tell a more concise story, and at least deaths across the board when it comes to Vanquish. It's 7 for Acells, 7 for Hndles, and then 6 and 6 for Precision Design. So that's the only deaths they had. Meanwhile, 10, 12, 10 for Xclusive. We ended up losing one at the end, as I guess you said. Let me just go ahead and get the lobby started up for you guys really quickly so we can get this ball rolling. But across the board, damage done, though, all above 10,000. Meanwhile, no one on the team of Team Queso, even breaking that threshold. The closest one, Sleeafer, 9,851. But again, to be expected with how well Vanquish was playing and rotating. And what's also telling is the fact that Team Queso had a lot of caps. In fact, they had more caps across the board than that of Vanquish, but Vanquish was also having more impact with the caps they were getting. So even though Team Queso was there, they might have got a couple of points, but they weren't getting as many points as Vanquish, let's say like maybe 40, 50 at a time.
Yeah, I really think, again, we got to take a look at a lot of those numbers were just dominant in the fact and in the face of Vanquish, and that's a story to be able to tell. You're going to see a lot of teams kind of get matched up. I think one of the things, the best analogy I can use for it, I'll put it this way. The best analogy I can use for it is when Powers set the record for most kills in a single event back in Gears 4. They went on a long, drawn-out losers bracket run. Powers played more rounds, so innately you give somebody with that much skill the ability to get that many more kills, you will find him having that many more kills and set a record like that. In that situation, I'll tell you right now, you look at a team like Vanquish and you put them up against, let's say right now, if you were to go head-to-head against an United or any of the teams at the top, really, you look at even an Oxygen, you put a Pittsburgh Knights, a Fire Knights, those damage numbers, those kills, those deaths, everything is going to kind of get extrapolated upon because those fights are going to be elongated. There's going to be a lot more rotations. Players are going to butt heads a lot more. Right. In that situation, I can't help but just look at it and basically chalk it up to the fact that I just don't think Queso ever found their footing. They started out really well. They had that over-rotation. I praised them for that over-rotation, getting to that second hill positioning early. But then everything just went to the wayside, and it was like Vanquish said, we don't need to get rolling. We already rolling. We came into this like Sonic the Hedgehog, baby. We at light speed. You better catch us. And I use that because he's blue and white, colored team colors and stuff. You know how to
got the color theme of Sonic. Fair enough. I get what you're putting out, man. As long as it's the game and not the movie, okay? Because the movie, everybody.
Whoa! You hating on Jim Carrey? That man was brilliant at Eggman. He was brilliant.
All right. Hey, fair enough, man. But Sonic needed some work. Okay. Either way, hey, Colin, that was a good match for Vanquish. Team Queso, that they got to step it up. Now, we are going to check out. Vanquish is a good checkout team. Team Queso, not bad in their own right, too. But the thing about Team Queso yesterday that we're highlighting going into that 2 matchup, the second map against Hive, we were like, wow, Team Queso is a great execution team. We had a chance to kind of look at their stats. Control, execution were definitely the strong suits for the squad of Team Queso, but they ended up losing 6-3. And I know 6-3 doesn't sound bad. They started strong, but once the team of Hive just got rolling, man, it was hard to stop them. And Team Queso didn't look good, right? They weren't playing well at all, execution-wise. Vanquish is going to be a different story, but in my opinion, it's going to be a lot harder than that of Hive. It's a different map, but what are we expected from Team Queso? Lessons learned from yesterday moving into today.
They're going to have to play a little bit more stout at those incendiaries. That hop-up fight at the checkout lane for those incendiaries, they got to play that a little bit stout. They got to play that a little bit more in the face, because you're going to have a player like Precision. If he continues to play the front spawn for Vanquish, he's going to get right into that first lane. He's going to try to get into the middle of the map, disrupt whatever rotation you want, and he even has a chance at a 45 to where he could snub, Lancer, whatever it might be, onto that player playing up onto that platform. So you got to be able to answer back. You got to keep Precision hurt enough that he can't feel comfortable in that middle lane. Then you play up for those instants, and you got to connect. You got to make them work for you. You cannot let Vanquish get off to the races and really start to compound damage followed by downs and kills.
No, you can't. And Team Queso, we've been talking a lot about momentum-based teams, right? Hive was one of them. I think we mentioned Rise as a momentum-based team because they really are, right? Once they get the ball rolling, it's hard to stop them. Vanquish, much the same way. Team Queso is going to come out strong, hit them in the mouth and say, look, we're not taking it. That map 1 is over with. It's a totally different map. We're a totally different team. Don't even worry about how the series is going to go, because we're going to make sure that every single time you meet us on the battlefield, we're going to take you down. We're going to make the most of it. That's what Team Queso needs to do in the mindset they need to have. But make no mistake, Vanquish is going to have the same mindset. Precision already on the platform, foregoing the incense, goes for the early damage. Acells joining into the mix. And that platform fight, it's fair to say, was 100% dominated by Precision and Acells.
Again, that's what I was worried about, is if Precision can get into that platform fight, if he can get into the middle of the map and kind of dominate the way that you're able to rotate around, it just makes life almost impossible for you. Oh my God, the new Dizzy skin! Oh! Oh! Hold on!
Man. Talk to me about it.
Hold up!
Let me hear what you got to say.
Pretty. Hey, look, you know how Dizzy normally's got that? He's got that cowboy hat on. It's over top of that bandana. My man Dizzy right there in that skin. He looks like he's had a hard day's work, working on that big rig, working on, maybe even working on his silverback from Gears 3, calling her Susie and stuff. You know how it is, baby. You got to give a little love to him. My man was a mechanic from the day one. I love Dizzy Wildin', baby. I love Dizzy Wildin'. I can go on all day about it. I can go on all day.
Hey, look, man, you're a kid in a candy shop at this point, brother. Operation 8 comes out. It's got new skins, got some new scoreboard, a lot of new other things that you're going to be talking about, I'm sure, as we go through the night. But back on board, Sleeafer. Better performance on the platform. A good job getting coverage from Cristalize, by the way. But is it going to be enough? VQ comes up now in the cut, ready to go, but Xclusive doesn't care. Hndles by himself, picks up the frags, gets away. Just about blows it in that moment because he hugs the corner. I know he wasn't wanting to do that in that moment, but hey, he does have the nades. Now the question is, where's the overtime hill? And with Hndles rotating up, you have to assume maybe it's going to be in electronics. So Xclusive and Rezik have to rotate into him.
Here we go into this next rotation. Hndles has to worry about the sniper from the left. Rezik trying to play up now, looking for a body shot. Any body shot here on the Hndles. I like that. He's using that glass as a little bit of a stalemate between him and Rezik. Rezik can't shoot through it necessarily. Hndles goes for a little double bounce and an up A on left hand into Xclusive. And I mean, that is shut down quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. As it should be. As it should be. Hndles had no reason to clutch that. He could have, but as I said, no reason to clutch that overall, and he does it. So well done from Team Queso to win that, and that was a good job from Cristalize, handling his business, getting that coverage. First bloods, something to pay attention to, ladies and gentlemen, on that scoreboard. It's going to be a couple of columns to the right. Currently, we have Xysho getting the first blood on the other end. I believe that was Sleeafer. Yeah, Sleeafer's got the other first blood too. He's the one playing up, challenging the platform, so it makes sense for him to also have that first blood to his name. This time around, though, it's going to be Cristalize taking down Precision. A great start for Team Queso. Incense and hand. Acells in a bit of trouble. He's burnt. Xysho forced to move forward. Snipe's going to be missed. And Xysho could really turn this around, especially with getting the down and the full elimination on the Cristalize. This is all, it might be possible, but no, it's going to be a 3v2 still.
Sleeper's still getting damaged up. They're trying to get another down. They're going to get really just force them into that situation, but Cristalize, beautiful shutdown from him. That headshot, I mean, puts Xysho between a rock, a hard place, a mountain, a couple of stone walls, and now all he's going to be able to do... Third down and out for Sleeper. Third down and out. That's the only explanation right there.
They're down and out, man. Hey, sometimes you just got to keep wearing away at those downs, brother. Just keep that Lancer fire going. Let them know. Either way, for Team Queso, this is a big map for them to take. We know we got Vascar Escalation coming up next, Colin. And when it comes to Vascar Escalation, it's not necessarily the strongest for Team Queso, despite their performance against Hive yesterday, which I want to point out was very impressive. Let's not forget Vanquish, 5-0 victory against Rebel. So for Team Queso, winning this means staying alive in the series. Even though they can win Vascar, you're going to better your chances, obviously, if you take this map. So this is an important one, and Sleeper is playing that platform much better than he did in round one. He's clearly fearless, making it happen, pushing the boys on VQ back, and a main reason as to the success of Team Queso as of recently.
Yeah, now you're going to see what they have to deal with is Acells and Hndles, the gruesome twosome from the Astro 2v battles. Acells stuck here at the frag grenades. He's going to have to rotate out, throws one deep, throws a second one, trying to get some damage on to Xclusive. Hndles gets 2v1 on the opposite side of the map. Acells, he's going to try to roadie strafe around as much as he can, but the body shot followed by the snubs. Too much work to deal with. This is the Queso I wanted to see last night. They're up 3-1. They're taking it right now, honestly, over to Vanquish.
They are. And they need to call. Again, we talked about it, right? We said this is what Team Queso needs to do, and they're doing exactly that. They are taking the fight to Vanquish. They're shutting down that momentum from the first loss, 300 to 104, which was an absolute beatdown on Regency control. Team Queso is a great team when it comes to execution. Dare I say, one of their best game modes statistically. But a bit of a missed flash might put Sleeper in a bad spot, but he still has that angle, and an opportunity to pick up one was there, but he doesn't get it. But either way, Cristalize. And the first blood once again going to the way of Team Queso, but Precision will answer back with his own instant.
Now you're going to see it's 3v3 mounted up. And you see what happens is now with that back angle, Sleeper here is kind of the linchpin. If Sleeper gets pressured up, Xclusive has to be able to help him. Precision, if he's quick enough, he can kind of get out wide a little bit and get damage onto him. Xclusive, though, has to worry about Xysho. Xysho even quicker to the punch across the backside of the checkout lanes. Sleeper answers back with a kill on a Precision. Xysho versus Sleeper on this side of the map. Rezik gets the down there onto Xysho. And now you see the extra rotation from Team Queso coming through and being tried and true. See Hndles trying to get back into the fight, trying to go for a little roadie strafe up A into one player, not going to be able to get it, and that's 4 rounds in a row. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, wonderful job. I mean, talk about flipping the script again from that control. Regency now over towards execution on checkout. Team Queso looking flawless. First bloods spread out pretty evenly across the board for them, and that just comes to show you everybody doing their part. We've seen Cristalize now have 2 first bloods, Xclusive, Sleeper with their own. Rezik, he may not have a first blood, but he's still outputting the damage. He still has 3 kills, which is even better than some on Vanquish, so very well done. Precision's got to step it up, take down Sleeper. That's exactly what he does. This might be a round for the boys on Vanquish, especially with Xclusive trying to sneak out, but the instants are gone. Once thrown, Rezik caught out. He picks it up from the ground. He'll take one down, even though he's by himself. This just became possible, but a nice body from Xysho is going to put the pressure on. Rezik's out, but don't say he didn't put up one hell of an effort.
Oh, I mean, he put up the best effort possible, and that is a great answer from Vanquish. That second round on the board slows the momentum down. Now they need to be able to get another one here. You can't go down 5-2. I don't think you're going to give Queso too many opportunities to kind of rotate around and get a fight that they want, much rather than the fight they're forced into. Let's see what they do in the situation. Precision, he has to be a little bit quicker to that punch. They've done a good job of making him uncomfortable in the middle of the map. Pushing up onto Hndles now. Hndles taking that back ledge. Oh, misses a big... Actually, that was a little bit of a late register, it almost looks like, where he took that shot and then the pellets appeared after he rolled back, but he gets the damage nonetheless. Incendiaries are blocking them from challenging that top pillar. And now Rezik,
nice.
all he can do is try his best to run away.
Yeah,
but 3 players from Vanquish ruin his day.
He was still trying to fight, though. You know, he's going down. He's going down. Blaze and glory, man. He's looking good. I like what Rezik is doing. Rezik has been playing very, very well for his roster, but the worrisome part now is VQ starting to get some win in their cells, Colin, and Team Queso is not at map point just yet. They've got some work to do. Yeah, they're feeling comfortable with the 1-round lead, but Vanquish is nipping at their heels, looking to catch up, and that catch-up point has now at least arrived, and Precision is the reason why. They're doing such a good job up top, but a couple of players from Team Queso not marked, and Precision manages to get away, but Kilpy lighting up red. Sleeafer doing what he's been doing so well off the start, but will it be answered back? Maybe so. Sleeafer fighting tooth and nail, but not going to get out of that moment. Precision, oh no, he goes for the pickup, won't get it. He's by himself, 1v2.
And now it's going to be all up to the side of Precision to try to get another round here, try to tie it up. 2 big shots, tries to go over the cover, can't get it. 5-3. I said that 5-2 was a little bit too much to overcome. They got the round that they needed, I believe. So they still have a chance in this, but they've got to play picture perfect for 3 straight rounds now. Coming into the second half of this map and this matchup, they need to play absolutely picture perfect, but I'd like to see Queso go ahead and finish this off. Last night, they had a real tough time finishing plays, finishing rounds, and getting wins in the situation in which they were forced to. Now they've got Vanquish on the back foot. This is a very easy map for them to be able to win. They got to get one more round under their belt. Sleeafer with the Incendiaries picks up the first blood there onto Xysho. Hndles gets it down, but the answer right back. 2 more kills, Acells, and a 1v3 now. It's all over but the crying. There ain't nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Sorry, Hoff, you got to go down. You couldn't do anything but die. And Team Queso, they win it 6-3 here in map number 2, and they actually tie it up against Vanquish 1-1.
Well done. Team Queso needed to do that. Now the series has just become that much more interesting. Vanquish, nothing is guaranteed. We've got Escalation on Vascar coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Gears Pro League. Day number 8. Team Queso answers back, Colin. This is what we needed from them, brother.
They needed to fight back last night, and it seems like it took them an extra 24 hours, but they have really started to find their footing in a match where I wanted to see them be able to answer. They took a couple of bad beats in a row. They even took a bad map 1 beat over to Vanquish, but they started out here and they said, look, we're not going down on checkout without a fight. We're going to make you work for every single solitary moment that you have on this map to live. And they did exactly that, and I love the fact that Team Queso did just exactly what they set out to do. They pressured the middle of the map. They won the Incendiaries more often than not, and those Incendiaries, they paid dividends, especially late in this game.
And man, I gotta shout out Sleeafer, brother. He was doing such an incredible job pressuring Precision on the platform fight. And I owe a lot of the success to Sleeafer. Cristalize also having incredible moments. Rezik too. You gotta highlight all of Team Queso because those first bloods were kind of ringing true, right? That new stat line coming in and across the board, -1 player on TQ, all had first bloods to their names, showing they were putting in the dirty work in the beginnings of the round. So now Team Queso guarantees a chance to play on Spire Control, which didn't go too well for them against Hive yesterday, but they still played it decently okay, which means they might have a good chance against VQ going there. Vascar Escalation is going to be loading up. We know what the team of Vanquish did to Rebel yesterday. It was an absolute slaughter fest, but we also know what Team Queso did against Hive, Colin. So what are we thinking this matchup's going to look like heading into Vascar Escalation?
It's going to be kind of the similar play style, I think, of what we saw last night. You're going to see Vanquish try to play a pressure offense in a lot of situations, especially, I believe it was round 6, where Vanquish toward the end of the round knew that there was a chance that they could get a triple cap domination or a triple D cap and possibly lose the round. So Vanquish just overloaded. They just continued to rotate around the map, continued to play offense, and that gave them a chance to win the round as they continue to win fights. Queso has to be able to play some defense. They cannot allow the side of Vanquish to get rolling, get what they did in that first map to work for them in the second one. And the Wolfpack early for Team Queso trying to get it down in that corner, trying to convert that first kill on a precision. The team fire absolutely picture perfect, though.
Ooh.
One kill comes away, bouncing around. Now they're going to try to get another one. They're going to try to get a little loose over in this situation as 2 players from Vanquish have already fallen in the 1v1 at the opposite side of the map. Won by Rezik over Acells. And that's what I was talking about. Taylor, without a doubt, as you could probably tell, a lot of players might fold. They might try to play a little too aggressive. One way or the other, they end up falling victim to the powerhouse of a CQC player that is Acells. Rezik plays it nice and slow. He plays over the cover. He plays the down and damage game. And he gets a quick kill, and it allows for the triple cap domination pressure to start up.
And something to take note of as well, Xclusive dies there, so does Sleeafer. But that first start, right, that first initial, that headbutt at tank and the 1v on A was absolutely flawless from Team Queso. No one died on their roster, yet everyone died on VQ. No kills going to them. Vanquish does turn things around with the 2-to-1 hill cap, but that start for me, for Team Queso, was impressive and shows that, look, if they can play at this intensity, keep that stamina up, they can absolutely beat Vanquish. To take a 2-1 lead in this series heading into Spire could open the door to a potential big upset, in my opinion, with how well Vanquish has been as of recently. A couple of distinct 1Vs going on the opposite end. You got Cristalize, who's over there. He takes down Hndles. He's now going to be having to go against player number 7. But on the opposite end, you also have a potential break from Team Queso onto A, depending on how Xysho plays it. But Xysho's holding his ground. But now this could be trouble for Team Queso, depending on how Xysho chooses to play this. A domination potentially coming through.
And you see Xysho just trying to play back a little defensively. Beautiful shots on. He gets some help over the top. He gets that first down, cleans up that kill. Now he has to pressure out of the hill to ensure the triple cap, and he does just that. 2 minutes and 6 seconds for that first round. Queso had a lot of chances to finish it off and get some kills. Maybe overstayed their welcome a little bit too long at Vanquish's home hill, which allowed a couple of kills to come through and allow Vanquish to get rolling on offense. And that's, I mean, you crack the window. They didn't even need the friggin' door at this point.
You just cracked the window and they're going straight through, I guess. Yeah. One of the things that Vanquish did so well against Rebel yesterday, Colin, is the fact that they were able to retake control pretty quickly. Even if Rebel had a solid start, Vanquish was always in it, and nothing was guaranteed, right? They could slip the rug from underneath your feet pretty quickly.
And going into this next, oh please, for the love of God, let's observe somebody with the bolt talk so that we can show off that new reticle. I don't care if it's Cristalize or Acells. I want to show this new bolt talk. I hope he didn't. I don't know if you could even toggle the. Look at that baby. See the little circle in the middle? That circle is the bullet, basically. Like the bloom looks a little rough, but if you can continue to keep that circle on somebody's head, I mean, you have blasting skulls straight off the shoulders.
That is pretty glorious. Like, I'm not, see, it's the little things like that that just make me appreciate what they do. Show me again, Cristalize. Show me what it's all about, Chris. Come on, just aim it. Just, there you go. You got Xysho to aim at. You have Xysho to aim at, man. Just aim down sights, brother. Take his head off. I know you can. If Colin was doing it, I know dang well you can.
I mean, if I can get a headshot with a bolt talk, that pretty much means a blind hog rolls up on an ear of corn every now and again. You know what I'm saying, baby? Sometimes I get lucky with some shots.
Blind hog on a, yeah, okay, fair enough, man. You know, you do like your hogs and your corn and all your references. I gotta say, I appreciate them. Check it out. VQ's got the 2-to-1 again.
VQ pressuring the home-to-home stretch. They've lost over at B, and they're going to leave Sleeafer over there. I think they need to keep precision there to pressure Sleeafer so that Sleeafer can't shoot at the 90-degree angle. They've got to be able to hold this position and not let somebody up onto that elevated position to be that elevated cover right there to the left of Acells, because that opens up the angle that allows you to get lancered on and taken down. Precision rotates up. He gets the down. Oh, I was gonna say I thought he missed one too many shots and is now gonna have to fly at the fight, but instead he gets the down, and that forces Team Queso into this fight. Now Team Queso has to go into the hill. Hndles, Boltok in hand, 2 shots on, gets the down, picks up the meat shield, and converts round number 2.
And that's how quick they can do it. That's how quick they can do it, Colin. And again, Vanquish is a team that can take control that quickly, which makes them so scary. You have to constantly fight for every inch of the map, or VQ can take it from you just in an instance, and that's exactly the power they have. Now, we're getting a little bit crazy, Cristalize, but I gotta say I'm here for it, brother. Torquebo up top on Heli. We've only seen it a handful of times. EU loves to do this, but now we get to see it in Pro League for North America, Latin America. Things are gonna get interesting. You gotta put your eggs in one basket, and that basket, it holds the Torquebo, brother.
Torquebo at the bottom of a basket. I sure hope it isn't made out of some weave, because I'll tell you right now, that bolt explodes. That's going to set that weave basket on fire, and you ain't going to have no basket no more. So I hope it's instead like maybe like a steel one, maybe like a bucket. Not as much a basket, but a bucket.
Like you have experience with that? Like that's happened to you?
I've set a woven basket on fire before. I'm not going to lie to you. I have.
What were you doing? Well, other than hunting eggs, what do you got against wicker baskets?
I don't like the look of them.
Okay, fair enough. All right, set them all on fire, then burn it to the ground, Colin. Burn it to the ground, I guess.
Xclusive is going to try to burn Vanquish to the ground. Now, shot over the top. He's gonna try to get that to just stick to the top of that cover. Try to get some of that splash damage. Doesn't get any, and a little misroll actually gets Rezik to die. 2-to-1 hill advantage. They have to find a pick with a Torquebo now. Xclusive has to be able to get a kill here, because that's going to open things up for them to go home to home. As long as you see on the opposite side of the map, Precision versus Rezik is stalemated for Vanquish, that is going to force the fight in favor of Vanquish. They're going to be able to play back. They're going to be able to play defensive. Xclusive goes to the top. Torquebo bolt sticks to the top of that luggage rack. Doesn't get any splash damage. Precision, though, getting a little cheeky. Pulls up a little bit. That actually gives a... Oh, my God. I love that play call. I wish I could have heard those comms, because I guarantee you they were like, hey, just walk over to them. Don't fight anybody. Just make them think you're coming on a flank, because it'll force people into our hands. They get 2 or 3 quick kills right there. One more to worry about. Rezik waiting in the wings, gets one. Bounces down straight up into the face there of the Xysho. He gets shut down. Now Cristalize full red. Precision playing against him. Also, for those of you, oh my goodness gracious. Oh, come on now.
Oh.
Come on now.
Oh, he's still alive, Colin.
Full red, baby, down to less than 10% health. Living on the edge.
Oh my. Precision can do no wrong. Neither can Xysho. Domination. Rezik at the 1 yard line won't get the touch. You were going to say a point there, Colin, but Precision just derailed it.
Well, I was just going to say that Precision's playing as the new Swarm character that dropped key to overall. I'm just, you know.
So how many characters did we get with Operation 8?
The 2 new ones are Ketor Vral, who was on the High Council of Mira. He's one of the Cantus High Council priests. His title is Ketor. His name is Vral. Just like, you know how they have Uzil Ram and Uzil Shrok. Uzil's kind of the title. The names are Ram and Shrok. Anyway, Vral is a High Council member of Mira. And then on the COG side, the new character we got was Bernie Mataki, baby. Old Bernadette.
See, and someone in chat wants to challenge you. Like, come on, you can't challenge the encyclopedia, the Wikipedia.
Well, he thought I was calling the big rig Susie. He thought I was calling Dizzy's big rig Susie when his silverback from Gears 3 is Susie. That's what he calls it whenever he gets into the silverback or builds the silverback in Gears 3. He calls her Susie. His big rig, we all know, is Betty.
Again, yeah, see, but again, you can't challenge that knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. Colin knows literally everything there is to know about Gears. It's pretty crazy. He's got a PhD in it, and a PhD is also in Acells' hand when it comes to slaying out. This man can do no wrong, much like the entirety of the team of Vanquish. And just come on, taking down Xclusive, getting the revenge, a domination coming through. Player 7 might get a touch, but he's going to be the only one you'd have to assume, because player 3, Rezik's about to get sandwiched, and he's going to drop. And Acells still holding his ground in the home mill of Team Queso, winning the fight against Sleeafer, gives the domination. And much like Rebel yesterday, they've got a 4-0 lead, looking to go back-to-back nights, winning on Vascar Escalation in the way of 5-0.
Trying to get this 5-0, trying to get it to 2-1, going back to the control map. And one of the things that I think that people need to be concerned with is I think Vanquish is trying to catch Rise for that title of Kings of Control. They are trying to get to that play style, that play level. Hey, yo, there we go. Is this like the new age? I don't know. This isn't necessarily a fiesta. Is this the barbecue? Is this the barbecue we got going on Long Shot Torquebo?
This is the good old-fashioned July 4th barbecue. We got a Torquebo, we got a long shot. Throw out a little, bull talk out there for some extra grilling. You are looking solid. Let's get that barbecue going. Everybody, spam barbecue in chat. No, don't do that. No one's going to do that. I wish we had an emote for barbecue, like a nice grill, a nice rack of ribs or something. That's exactly what will be taking place, man. Although I do miss my Fiestas. Hey, good breakout for Team Queso. This might work for them, but then you reach a brick wall, and that's Acells. And Acells continues to just slay out.
I'm not trying to say that Acells is a brick wall, but the man's made of concrete. Literally. He was the voice of God one day. Now he's made out of concrete. And then he just, I mean, that's just, that is an aggressive win right there.
Yeah, he's not. We thought Hndles wanted to go to bed. Acells wants to go to bed. I think at this point, bottom line, VQ plays better when someone wants to go to bed. So come major time, you better hope someone stays up all night and they're sleeping.
Now damaging fights coming out in favor of Vanquish. Hndles getting a kill there onto Xclusive, and now Xysho will pick up the sniper. And please, dear God, do not kill your own teammates for the fun of it at this point.
I'll do it. I'm all for it. But if you have members of Team Queso in front of you, I guess that's a better second choice. And he's going to have a lot of options. Good body shot, nearly missing the head of Cristalize. Goes back in for the second. Cristalize not able to catch a break. My goodness. He will drop him, gets the heady onto yet another. Goes back in for round 2. Xclusive, unfortunately, taking down Sleeafer. Xysho turns back around, getting pressured by Xclusive. Staying alive. I mean, whether it be Precision or Xysho, they just get out of spots you should not be getting out of. And Acells is back for round 2. Team Queso trying to claw their way back in, but Acells again is just not having it. I'm telling you, he is not having it. And just handles that 1v2 with ease, and now can focus on the domination. Xclusive has no choice but to just rush in. The stun will connect, and Xclusive will get the break to keep the round alive. But for how much longer, Colin?
Right now, they got to get 35 seconds until they get a 5-0 victory. You see Team Queso trying to fight off just the pressure that Vanquish has put into their home hill, into their first half home hill, excuse me, and basically their spawn. Rezik has one. Hndles is going to get the full red. He gets the down. One player in the area, maybe to clean up that kill or that revive. You see them sacrifice the life just to make sure that they killed one player off. And now you're going to find Team Queso rush to the E hill, trying to get over here for a decap, and they have to pressure all the way across over to the D hill. And looky, all of Vanquish is stacked up at their home hill. They know they got 13 seconds left before this will be settled. Shock is going to be pushed out to one side, going to get some damage there. Won't be able to hit those shots. A little miscue for Acells, not able to get the accuracy he needs. Cristalize, though, doesn't miss, but it's too little, too late. Vanquish 5-0 the Vascar escalation, and that's what I'm talking about, man. Their pressure on Vascar is sometimes just too much to overcome.
Whether it was Acells, Precision, Xysho, I mean, the pressure, like you said, was unrelenting. You know, Precision was literally chasing members down, not allowing them to breathe, not allowing them to feel comfortable. Acells consistently holding his ground in 1v2s for the torque bow, for the hill that's obviously Team Queso's hill, home hill. Just literally picture perfect. Vanquish not missing a beat, not missing an opportunity or a moment. The pressure is unreal, and you can't argue against consistency. 5-0 against Rebel yesterday, 5-0 against Team Queso today. Vanquish is back on top for Escalation. Vascar, and dare I say, could be one of the best teams on Vascar currently.
It could very well be, but I think we need to just move it along right here. If I am Queso, you wash that away. You got 5-0. There's not much you're going to learn from that. You now need to just think about that Spire. You got to move into that control. It's 2-1. You can get it to 2-2. Maybe even get it to that execution map number 5, which is the map type that you won earlier on checkout, and that's what you're trying to look for. So now you just have to be able to play Spire a little bit better than you did against the United. And by a little bit, I mean a lot, because they got beat in the rotations. They couldn't play defense. And that's what they were not able to do against Vanquish on Regency. Vanquish was able to play at a pace and a positioning battle level that Queso just was not able to keep up with on Regency. And Spire might play a little bit similar, simply because there are certain few hills that take a light year to get across the map to.
They do, and positioning is going to be big. Rotating early is going to be critical. We did see some glimpses of early rotations and nice pushes from Team Queso. You highlighted that off the first hill, rotating into the second. Even so, Team Queso was wiped out once Vanquish rotated over to challenge Team Queso, who was trying to lock in the spawns for that second hill on Regency. Spire control again was played yesterday from Team Queso. They lost to Hive, 300 to 201. going back and reflecting on that series yesterday for Team Queso, Colin, one of the things that hurt them was the fact that, yes, they were rotating late. Also, they didn't prioritize the drop shot at all. Hive had the drop shot pretty much every single time, plus the nades. Team Queso coming into Spire today, even though they pick it, they keep picking Spire, right? This is one that they're like, okay, this is our map that we are going to make Spire ours. And the reason why they're doing that is because they had early success on Spire during one of their first series, in the earlier weeks of Pro League for Phase 2. And I get it. They want to make that map theirs. But again, drop shot prioritization needs to be better today. Not like it was against Hive. They need to get the frags, and the rotations need to be on point, because yesterday they were struggling, they were lagging behind, and they also weren't winning team fights. A lot went wrong for them against Hive yesterday.
So something that doesn't get talked about a lot, and I think I want to make a point of it real quick, is they not only didn't get the drop shot away from Hive, but they didn't prioritize it in a lot of situations, but it wasn't really their decision to be able to prioritize it. One of the things that Hive was very good at doing was playing aggressive at the correct points, where Hive could probably take a look at their TACCOM, they could take a look at how much time is left before it comes, and they knew they could go for a push. They pick up a kill or two, and then Hive did a very good job. I need to go ahead and clip it and show you. There were 2 times in that map where just before the drop spawned, Hive pressured, 2 quick kills, and they rolled out. They didn't care that they might have given up 10, 15, 20 seconds, whatever it might have been. It ensured a power weapon pickup across the map. It ensured their early rotation across the map. It was almost like they were playing against the clock rather than their opponents in a lot of situations. And then when we were set up in the hill, they could play very good defense. It's what allowed them to accumulate so many points against the side, of Team Queso. I want to see if Team Queso learned from that. I want to see if they realize that that's what was happening to them, and if they play out a little bit sooner, if they see that countdown timer starting to tick, because those are kind of the levels. I know you like to quote my main man when he said there's levels of this. Of course, we all know Guy Blaze. He talks about there's levels to this. You play on a level where you're playing against your opponent. And then you've got weapon respawns. Then you got pill timers. Then you've got spawn outs. There's levels to this that you have to kind of check off as you go throughout the map. I think Team Queso got outsmarted as well as outplayed yesterday by Hive. I need to see them pick up the weapon rotations a little bit better today.
Well, weapon rotations, one thing. You mentioned outsmarted and out bronze in general, right? They were getting slayed out by Hive. My only concern is Vanquish isn't Hive. Vanquish is a more elevated version, right, in terms of that slaying power. We've already seen what Xysho, Precision, and Acells can do. Hndles is going to be great for positioning Vanquish up properly for the new hills, the new respawns, and who knows, even for attacking on those power weapons in general. It's going to be a big battle for Team Queso. They're going to have to fight for every inch. However, there is good news. If they can win on Spire, if they can take this map, force a game 5, we know Team Queso's best game mode, historically, statistically, is execution. They play it very well, and execution is going to be game 5 naturally, right? We've always run that rotation. It's going to be Canals, but Vanquish is a great Canals team, but either way, staying alive, going to Canals execution map number 5 could be what Team Queso needs, but it's going to be a tough 2 maps no matter which way you cut it, and this map is going to be very difficult with the way that, just to sell Xysho Precision, we're just slaying out and staying alive. And another thing, too, you look at the slaying power, even on Regency from Vanquish, 2 members of VQ were consistently holding off 3 to 4 members of Team Queso, and they were doing it with relative ease. That just comes to show you how well and how strong Vanquish truly is and how comfortable they are. And let's not forget, Colin, they're going into Spire control after absolutely decimating and picking apart Team Queso 5-0. It's a lot of momentum in their corner.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think you might be able to hang your hat on, though, if you're Team Queso, is Team Queso was very good at kind of forcing bad fights out of Vanquish on checkout. And one of the things that you can do, if you can get across the map, if you can get to those corner hills, there are a couple of tight hallways, a couple of little nooks and crannies that you can force bad fights out of your opponent. I'd like to see Queso try to have that same success. Build upon what you were good at. Avoid the things that you're struggling with. And right now, they're struggling with a little bit of long-range team fire and playing those CQC fights. So force the awkward team fights. Force the rotation. Force Vanquish into a box and Lancer them out like you did on checkout.
Lancer's going to be big here. I expect DPS to be much higher this time around than it was on Regency with how the fights play out, because if you establish yourself early on those corner hills, and really any hill on Spire with how wide open a lot of them are, minus the hill right in front of you, right? That's kind of the more closed off hill that we have on Spire in general, that kind of midline hill. But aside from that one, if you establish yourself early on, defense is highly dependent and based on how well you can hit your shots and team fire and isolate certain players. But let's get into it. We theory crafted enough as it is. Now it's up to the players to make Destiny theirs. Vanquish can win this series 3-1 in series number 1 and obviously better their record and continue to move up in the leaderboards for Pro League. Team Queso, though, can force a game 5 and put Destiny back in there, and getting a victory over Vanquish would be huge for them.
Yeah, this would be a fantastic win if they could get it here and try to get back on that same track that they had early in this split. But right now, we see the drop shot picked up by Xysho early. A couple of team downs coming through. Long-range drop shot. Picks up 1 kill. Rezik has the 90-degree, though, and this is what I was thinking. Rezik needs to be able to box him in, get a lot of damage, allow his players to play up from the 90-degree, which Cristalize is right now, trying to push up into these players from VQ. Xysho down. They get the quick revive off onto him. Here comes Cristalize, just bouncing up, bouncing in, trying to get damage on, and Rezik, just a team fire machine. Double downs for him. They have really boxed him in, killed him off, and taken control of the initial hill. And already, Sleeafer gets 1/3 of the damage he had in map number 1.
Yeah, pull that up one more time, please, because the leaderboard is very telling. 2,000 damage for some already. Just to take note, you know, this from the screenshot on Regency, the highest one in damage-wise was Hndles at 12,000. And that's what I was saying on Spire. With it being as open as it is, if you establish yourself on a hill early on, it is imperative that you connect your shots, team fire out, get that early damage to allow Xysho to do what he's doing, rotating around, using this circle of coverage to just get that additional damage because his teammates are outputting enough to put them within chunkable range, and Xysho is getting the finishes. Brilliant job. And I talked about 2,000 is where we're at. Well, Xysho's already at 4K.
Now you see Hndles just trying to go for this angle here, trying to play out in front of players from Team Queso, trying to come in, get that 90-degree, be able to Lancer him out. Acells has to play back in this cubby. He can't wait for anybody to really help him out. He has to keep this neutralized. You don't want to give up a bunch of points over here to Team Queso, and look at the way that Queso's playing this. Wide. I love the 90-degree angles. They're playing out against their opponent. Xysho's trying to maybe go for a little cheeky flank here, but he gets called out by Rezik. So Rezik has to stand it up 1v1, and that's going to allow Acells to pressure up into this fight. Get back onto the hill. Team revives trying to come through, but Hndles with the late rotation, gets the extra down with the Lancer, and now Rezik, he has to just basically skedaddle out of here. He's got to figure out whether he's going to go for a power weapon. The nades is actually what he's going to be waiting for, and it looks like they were waiting on him. You can see Rezik is going to get angled out here from 2 different sides, about 40% damage. Now playing against Hndles, he's got a teammate with him, but now 2 more players from Vanquish are up in the area. It looks like they might have to give up these nades, and Team Queso will have both power weapons.
Ooh,
Acells picks up the nades, though. He gets rid of 1 with the suicide, but he takes an opponent with him as well as himself.
Which isn't bad. Let's not forget Xclusive did pick up that drop shot. Don't know if he's used it. He has not. So still the odds in their favor, and that's a 2-piece. You'd have to get it. And yes, it is going to be, I think, a 3-piece actually, taking out his own teammate. But fair enough. Well done from Xclusive to pick that up and put the odds back into Team Queso's favor. They need to. Being down 40 points, not crazy as of yet, but Spire's incredibly punishing, and things can spiral out of control if you are not able, or if you take a big deficit right early on, which Team Queso might run the risk of. But you can tell Vanquish doing a great job just with the Acells precision. Those 2 players alone doing a great job working their way in. They take 2 members down from Team Queso. That's going to be a 3rd. Xysho has the cross, and that's important on Spire, right, Colin? Attacking all the angles, knowing which angles you can go to, and getting those off angles sometimes just to Lancer out like Xysho just did is a big help to your team who's going for a heel break.
See Xysho playing to the front side of the street. He's actually going to get a lot of marks as those players go up the middle stairwell, and anybody that goes in there that gets marked up. If they know that all 4 players are here, it's almost an impossible retake. You're flying straight into the teeth of the defense. It's a lot of easy Lancer shots. It's finalized kills with a couple of pellets from your Nasher. That is just so easy to defend against. I'm shaking my head, scratching my brow, trying to figure out how you'd think that was a good idea. You might have taken over a close respawn with Sleeafer right here, but I mean, you really put yourself in a bad deficit by giving up 2 easy defends there to Vanquish.
And it's tough that Sleeafer stays in that spot as long as he does and gets no value from it. That takes him out of the fight. And again, you're not getting closer respawns. Now, Cristalize does a better job than Sleeafer, takes down 2 members, and Team Queso is going to be established on the next hill, but it's already contested. Xysho's there, but he doesn't know there's going to be players behind him, and even if he does, he's not going to get out of this spot. Tries to take down Rezik in time, not going to happen. And Team Queso does a much better job establishing themselves on the new hill. This could be great for them. Cristalize rotating around. He wins one more fight. The nades go their way. Xclusive comes in for the help, but Hndles standing his ground and still alive and a chance to win these nades for his team. Xclusive doing everything he can to battle. Hndles puts up one hell of a fight. Acells is there for the refresh and immediately puts it on, but Xclusive does a better job holding it down, gets the nades for his team, but still, Precision is there to fight once again. The pressure so unrelenting from Vanquish, but Team Queso does a wonderful job, Colin, at holding and standing their ground and not allowing Vanquish to run away with those nades.
I'm surprised Xysho didn't give up the positioning there to try to get a Lancer out, to try to, even if you give up a few points, you're not going down. You're not giving up the free down, the free extra shot on to Team Queso. You see now Vanquish is going to push across this backside here, try to slide into Rezik, try to get a kill on him. Rezik actually kills a teammate, it looks like, with a nade. Unsure if it was a planted nade or it had to be a planted nade because I didn't see Rezik throw one as they tried to slide across the backside of the map. You see Xclusive coming to this fight now, trying to bounce around, trying to get this extra shot on. Beautiful down there onto Xysho. It's going to be a 1v1, and back A onto Acells will get the double kill and net them this hill, only down by about 50 points thus far.
Big kills like the one Xclusive just got is what's going to save Team Queso. It's been very back and forth. Let's not forget, Vanquish had a decent lead, but Team Queso is right there with them. Already about 11,000 DPS coming out from one of the players on Vanquish. And again, this is a map where you were quoting, what, 15 to 25K in terms of damage per second. That's what you need to have if you want to have a solid control game. With also how close this is going to be, I'm assuming we're going to be reaching those levels, Colin.
You see the quick kill there from Precision as he slides in. Yeah, you're seeing a lot of damage output in this one. This is a lot more tightly contested, a lot more compact, and players are really trying to play up onto each other and make this uncomfortable. They're not giving anybody any free goes at any shots whatsoever, and I think this has been just, I mean, unbelievably played by Team Queso thus far. A lot of the times we saw in map number 1, they were able to... They were getting overwhelmed by Vanquish, and now they're going to go for another 3-player push. Please tell me they don't go for another 4-player push. Please tell me.
Looks like it's going to be 3. Player 5's kind of lacking in the background. Sleeafer does have the drop shot, but Xysho's in this corner. No idea if he's been spotted. He's going to be the lynch. He hasn't been spotted. No way. He's going to be devastated. That's going to be 2. He's going for the 3rd. Won't get it because the nade will connect, but either way, enough damage done to allow Team Queso. They can't push through. Vanquish holds him at bay, and Xysho, great spot.
Now you see Precision pushing back through where the nades are. They know that next hill is that bottom left positioning there, that top right positioning on your map. I was going to say bottom left if you look at the way that they were looking on the map from right to left. But now you see Cristalize playing back into the side of this van, trying to get all the way in the back of the library, playing a very picture-perfect defensive role. A lot of back A's out. Xysho is right there for the quick cleanup on the meat shield. He's going to get down by Xclusive, and right now Team Queso has the early positioning on this hill. And Vanquish kind of flies across the map. They're trying to disrupt the placement, trying to disrupt the defense of Team Queso, but they actually get taken out one after the next. Drop shot up in 40 seconds, so you're probably going to see one attempted retake before they try to fight over that drop.
And this is going to be it. Precision leading the charge. Utility enhanced. Sleeafer takes an off angle. That's brilliant from Hill. Keeping that pressure on, knowing your angles is huge on a map such as Spire. Got a couple members from Team Queso, though, that are going to be a mid. That's going to make life uncomfortable for Acells, who has to cut back in. Either way, Vanquish successfully pushes back TQ from the hill. And you mentioned that one retake before the drop shot comes up. Well, Vanquish goes for it. They make the most of it, and they're going to surpass the 200-point mark now, as Team Queso did not put up a fight at all on that last hill.
Less than 100 seconds to go now, having to worry about trying to finish this out. They want to get this to be 3-1. Another kill there onto Rezik opens up the drop shot pick, and you can see how Team Queso has been spawned out. They're spread out across the map right now. It's going to be very difficult for them to challenge up, and now they see that everybody's coming through this small hill. Just 10 seconds to go. First drop and only drop out. Gets a kill. Now no more rockets in the pocket. Now Precision has to basically play the shotgun fight. Gets it down, gets a kill, gets it down. Picture perfect. Played that 90-degree onto Hndles. Couldn't have asked for any better of a start to this next hill for Vanquish, and they are down to 65 seconds.
Yep, 65 seconds, looking to have more of a dominating performance here than even their Regency, which their Regency alone was impressive as it was. Nades are thrown. I think they were two-piece, and this is pretty much over with, Colin. And you have to assume Rezik caught out in mid. He's going to be angled out by Xysho. He's got Precision on his backside. Nowhere to go but forward to try and force a play. You got Hndles doing exactly what he's been doing all game, right? He's been so aggressive, and he's feeling himself. He's feeling confident. Plus the fact that Xysho gets his pickup, that is just believing in your teammates and having faith that, look, I can push any fight. Even if I drop, my teammates have my back.
And I love the fact that Hndles has kind of played that pressure position all game long. The fact that he's playing out on a lot of people makes it harder for them to play up into that next hill. It makes them harder for them to stack up outside of the hill and come in as a unit. They have to come in one at a time, or they have to reevaluate their positioning and their play time. 4 seconds left. What a dominant performance in those last 3 hills by Vanquish. The retakes were picture perfect. The way that they came in and got a lot of damage and a lot of downs early just gave them a dominant victory. There you go, Precision with the MVP. He's got a present for everybody that thought they weren't going to win this matchup because they finish it off 3-1.
You know, just like I said yesterday, and I think you can kind of echo this sentiment, Colin. So impressed with Vanquish, with the way they played against Team Queso, with the way they played Rebel yesterday. They have had an impressive 2 days, and Vanquish looking so good. Their pressure positions with Hndles, Acells was pressuring up on Escalation. Precision, even though they lose checkout, right? He was doing a wonderful job. And for most of the times, you know, opposite of that of Sleeafer for the platform fight. Across the board, you love to see how well Vanquish is playing as a team, as a unit. They look in control. That's the big thing, right? They're not just flash and dash. They're not just slaying out the enemy team and just kind of banking on their ability to slay out. Some teams play that way, right? That's how they operate. They bank on the fact, look, I can outslay you. That's how we're going to win our games. No, VQ's a smart team. They can slay better than any other team in the Pro League currently, but they're also smart. They're a total package.
Yeah, they're showcasing that right now. They've really put together a very dangerous squad. When they finished, I believe it was, what, 3rd with Bronny in the lineup, they were basically an offensive juggernaut. They played up on everybody. They tried to make you uncomfortable in every situation. They pick up Xysho, and they have found kind of a secondary leader, a secondary voice, somebody that can manipulate the troops and the positioning across the map in any way, shape, or form. And it allows them to play a completely separate play style. They can play back, they can play a little bit defensively, they can set up and pressure up at the same time, and they can still play with that supreme level of confidence, that supreme style of offense. It's what nets them 300 to 110 or less wins in control twice against Queso. And of course, we saw just last night they give up about 150 points, but after 120, they only gave up 30 the rest of the time when they had to go all the way to 300.